in May of 2019, something happened to Shauntae. Do you mind talking about that a little bit and telling me what happened?
Um, well, she passed away from undiagnosed heart disease. Um, we didn't, we didn't know, and that changed everything for me,
For
for
sure.
all of us.
For sure it would. And she was young at the time, right?
Yes, she was. Yes,
How old was she?
she's 36, and
36.
she was slightly mentally challenged, not a lot, but enough to always need mommy. And
Nice. That's nice.
and when she passed, you realize a lot of things. She needed me, and I needed her. So, but a lot of things changed for us.
As you know, the outlet that helped me cope with my father's cancer diagnosis was a documentary that I produced about the lives of my parents. And when my sister was diagnosed, I wanted to again seek out some kind of an outlet to help me cope and to help me just be able to talk about it, quite honestly. In your situation, your first outlet to kind of help you cope with your grief was a Facebook group.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about the Facebook group.
Well, I started this group because when you're grieving, you're looking for anything, any outlet that you can have, and you just want to talk about it. So talking about it helps a lot.
100%.
And people people some people don't understand the conversation you want to have. So when you have people and you're all dealing with the same situations, you kind of give each other the strength that you need, and that's what we do. We just lean on each other, and by me creating that group, it helped me a lot.
There's a country singer by the name of Craig Morgan, and he lost his 19-year-old son named Jerry in 2016.
Right.
3 years later, in 2019, he wrote a song dedicated to his son. The song was called "The Father, My Son, and the Holy Ghost," and that
Right.
was effectively Craig Morgan's outlet. That was something that he did to kind of help him heal after he lost his son.
Right.
There is a famous country singer people have probably heard of named Blake Shelton. He's also a
Yeah.
judge on The Voice.
Right.
And he supported Craig Morgan's efforts with that song, and he was helping him promote it on social media. And then you reached out to Blake Shelton at that time, and he offered you some words of encouragement. Can you
Yeah.
tell
Yeah.
me, what did you say to him, and what did he say back to you at that time?
Well, I wanted him to know that I was starting a group, and it was dealing with what his friend Craig Morgan was dealing with, same as what I was dealing with, and I wanted really for him to help me. I don't know, maybe tweet about the group, something to get it out there that people knew that it existed. And so this is what I said to him, that she passed away and what happened. And so he responded he gave me some really encouraging words. He was just, it made me cry because he was just so genuine. And he just wished me the best of luck. And he said, he was sorry for my daughter's passing, and that people like me and Craig encouraged him because we're trying to help people while we're dealing with our own grief. And so that just made me feel really good. He's a really good person.
Now, you decided to write a book, and from what I understand, you told your husband that you had this idea, and your husband's reaction was, "Yeah, sure you will."
Yeah. Now, I walked in the room and I was like, you know what? I'm going to write a book. He was like, oh, okay, well, write a book. Months down the road, months on down the road, he looked at me, he said, you really wrote a book. So it was I just needed to do that.
You had never written a book before.
Never.
And had it ever occurred to you before to do something like this? Is this an idea that you had in the back of your mind for a while?
Never. I've never.
Really?
It was never there. I never thought about it. And it was just, we were really, really grieving. And my kids were having a hard time with it. I was having a hard time with it. And we were always just so happy-go-lucky, laughing. And so it was just something that the Lord meant for us to do together. And it helped a lot. That's the way I can put that.
What made you decide to choose that as your outlet? What made you decide, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write and I'm going to, create a book?
Well, I just felt like, well, one thing, Craig Morgan and Blake Shelton, kind of, just the fact that he was able to do something for his son, to honor his son. And I was like, well, I want to do something. I just got something in here that I need to say, but singing wasn't it. so, so I was just sitting there, and I just started writing, and it went from there. And then everybody got involved with it, and my son, his name is Sean. Shauntae's my daughter that passed, and he's her twin. And so we all just got involved with it, and it was a great thing for us.
Now, I know that the production of this book was a real family affair because your youngest daughter did the artwork.
Yes.
Your middle daughter edited the book.
Yes.
And your son, Sean, the twin brother, he not only helped come up with the villain in the book, but one of the characters' brothers in the book is named Sean.
Right. Yeah.
So everybody was involved in this.
Everybody's in the book.
So this is where the power of social media kind of really comes into play. So you reached back out to Blake Shelton again.
Right.
And the second time, what did you say to him, and how did he respond to you?
Well, the second time I reached out to him, I told him, I said, I don't know if you remember me, but I remember that last year, you had kind words to say about my daughter, and I wrote a book for her, and I wanted to send him a copy. And I told him, I said, I know you didn't give me his address, so I said, if you prefer to order it yourself, here's the link. And so he retweeted it, and he said, I'll order it. Then he said, actually, let's all order it. And it just went from there. It really went from there. I was stunned. Most people, to get him to respond to me twice was just totally amazing to me. But he's really a nice person. He really is.
Now,
I appreciate him.
This is how I found your story, because TMZ wrote a story about this.
Right.
So that's how I found out about you. Now, was this one of these moments where, you post a tweet to Blake Shelton, you go to sleep, you wake up the next day, and your phone's blown up? Was it one of those kind of situations?
It was one of those kind of things, and I talked with them, and I gave them the story and everything, but it was, next thing I know, it was everywhere. I mean, I've seen at least 30 different news articles, and I'm like, oh my God. And I didn't even know he'd done it, because a friend of mine called me. She said, what's going on with you and Twitter? I said, what are you talking about? She said, you need to look at it. I said, okay. So when I go in, I see all these comments, my notifications, and I started reading them. People were saying, I got mine, I ordered mine. I'm like, you ordered your what? So I started scrolling, and I came across it, and I was like, oh my God. I said, oh my God, for 10 minutes. 10 whole minutes. So it was something. It was something.
And how did book sales go? And you don't have to tell me numbers, but how did book sales go after Blake Shelton posted that message, I imagine, right?
Oh, yeah. They went, he told his fans that they should order, and I think they just said, hey, we're going to do that because you said so.
Not to be undone, Kelly Clarkson, another celebrity, she just posted a message on Twitter about the book. Now, anybody not familiar, Kelly Clarkson, the first ever American Idol winner, and now she's got her own successful daytime talk show. So she posted on Twitter that she just ordered 2 copies. What kind of response did you get from that? Because I think it's debatable she's an even bigger star than Blake Shelton, maybe, or at least on the level.
Yeah, I think that's debatable too. But the sales started going up again. They actually, the more exposure it's getting, the more the sales have gone up. And so, yeah, it's going up pretty much.
I imagine 2 years ago, you didn't think you were ever going to be the author of a book series.
No, I did not.
And here you are now, and you've kind of quietly revealed that you're working on book number 3. And so where do you think you're going to go from here? Like, are you thinking, maybe you can parlay this into merchandise? Are you looking into that? Or you never even know if there could be a movie in it for you, Frankie?
You never know, I don't, you just got to have faith in what you're doing and just go in the direction it takes you. I don't know where it's going to take me, but hey, if that's where it takes me, I'm fine with that. But the whole thing for me is just doing something that honors her. So that's the main thing for me.